Welcome back to the Sports News Analysis YouTube page. We're recapping the Week 12 games and specifically the Thanksgiving Day games today. And we're now up to the Redskins Cowboys contest, which was our second game of the afternoon. A game in which the Redskins very impressively walked into Dallas and defeated the Cowboys 38-31. The story of the game was Redskins rookie quarterback Robert Griffin III, who passed for 311 yards and 4 touchdowns, including a stretch from the end of the first quarter to the beginning of the third quarter where he actually completed 12 passes in a row. And if you look at a timeline of this game or look at highlights of this game, you'll see that that was really the biggest stretch of the game. Washington scored 28 points in the second quarter. As from a Redskins perspective, they have to be absolutely ecstatic with what they've seen from their rookie quarterback. I mean, if you watch this kid play, he just has such a presence about him. His efficiency is what surprised me. He was an efficient quarterback at Baylor last year when he was the Heisman Trophy winner. But, it's one thing to be efficient in the Big 12 where no one plays defense, and it's one thing to step in the NFL, have that calmness about you, and complete for as high of a percentage as he does and have as high as a rating as he does. And not to mention his running ability, which was not on display as much today, but it is still ever present and something defenses have to constantly plan for. Griffin was playing in front of a lot of family and friends as he grew up I believe in the Fort Hood area of Texas, being that his parents are retired military, from what I could gather. And also starring for the Redskins today was another rookie, Alfred Morris. While Griffin was much ballyhooed and everyone knew Robert Griffin, Alfred Morris has pretty much come out of nowhere to be a force for the Redskins this year and to take some pressure off Griffin. Not even a young quarterback. Any quarterback's best friend is a solid running game. And Morris has led that charge for Washington this season. From an overall point of view, as far as where Washington stands now, this win puts them back in things. It was just a couple weeks ago where Mike Shanahan, their own coach, seemed like he was writing them off. But after 2 straight wins, Washington sits at 5-6. Dallas is also at 5-6, and the Giants lead the division at 6-4, with a very tough game coming up this Sunday versus the Packers. So if the Giants lose, Redskins are just one game out here with 5 to play. From the Dallas point of view, look, when you have your quarterback throwing, I believe Romo threw 62 times today. When that's the case, I don't know what the stats are, but I don't know how many times anyone's thrown over 60 times in a game. But, you tend not to win those games. It usually means you're coming from behind like the Cowboys were. Heard some post-game comments from Romo to the effect that he felt the Cowboys had a chance when they cut it from 28-3 to 35-28 with a little over 8 minutes to go. And that's, again, when Griffin showed his poise and led the Redskins down for a field goal that pretty much put the game out of reach. But for the Cowboys, what you wouldn't know by the good game Griffin had is they were actually able to put some pressure on him. They did sack Robert Griffin 4 times, but and they did actually flush him out of the pocket a couple times. I think the pass rush did their job. I think it was the back end that struggled for the Cowboys. I think the Redskins receivers had a lot to do with that. But this is another one good game, one bad game kind of season for the Cowboys, and you wonder what's going to get them out of this rut. Is it a coaching thing? Is it a personnel thing? Who knows at this point with the Cowboys, but they have to figure it out, and they have to figure it out quick. Good news is, they have 10 days to figure it out. I think they'll be fine. I think all these 3 teams, Giants, Redskins, Dallas, will be right in this NFC East till the last week. These teams still have some games to play against each other to go, and it'll be interesting how those unfold. But as far as today goes, it was definitely Robert Griffin III's coming out party on a national stage, I feel, because everyone's watching the Thanksgiving Day game. And again, Robert Griffin III, 311 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, as Washington defeats Dallas 38-31 in the second game on Thanksgiving Day 2012.